My name is Wayne Winter, and I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. And years ago, decades ago, my father and mother, instead of going to Florida like other Ohioans, had to get away from the cold and snowbird, found Costa Rica and built a home there. And so I had the opportunity also to get away. And while I was there in 1985, I met this wonderful girl, and I married her, and she's still my girlfriend. And so I had roots in Costa Rica because of that, and eventually became a Costa Rican citizen. And although we lived in America for about 20 years, we decided to retire in 2002. Especially, we lost our son at that time from a rare disease, and we went there with his ashes at his request, and we just never came back to the United States. And so we started searching around a few years ago, where is a better place, where could we get more bang for our buck, and where there is maybe less crime, which had increased in Costa Rica. And we realized that there's no perfect paradise in the world. It doesn't exist, but looking for something better. And so we explored all over. We were considering Thailand, but it's so far away from the other side of the world, and still having family up in America with my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. To stay in touch is very difficult. And here right next door to us, we never thought of Panama. Once we began to look here, we began to meet friends. I ran into a pastor on the beach in Costa Rica several years ago, and he was and his family were all Costa Ricans, and they had come to Panama. He was pastoring a church, and he was up visiting his family, and he said, I went to Panama, and I don't want to come back. He says, it's so much better than Costa Rica, and he was Costa Rican. And so that stayed in the back of my mind, and I began with my wife to investigate more Panama, and some things are 10, 20, even 50% less than Costa Rica for the identical things. The taxation and the importation of a new car in Costa Rica is 52% that the government takes. The license plate on my 2012 model car in Costa Rica, I just paid it last month in December. It was nearly $700. The same car here is $30 in Panama. So we began digging deeper and deeper and came across Jackie Lang and her, I would say now famous, Panama Relocation Tour. And I began following her videos, and she has a website, and I began with my wife absorbing everything that was available. And she was very transparent. She said it like it was. And we signed up for her tour. So today is the last of 7 days of Jackie Lang's Panama Relocation Tour for my wife and I. And from Panama City, where we landed, we're right now in Boquete, at a higher elevation, a coffee district, a very beautiful area. We were shown by her and her team the do's and the don'ts of Panama. We got to look at some real estate for sale in different areas, real estate for rent, get an idea and a feel for this. And it pretty much confirmed what we already knew from our past several years of investigating Panama as the potential to be our new home and retirement area. The programs here for getting a visa are numerous. They're quite easy. The cost of living here, especially if you're on a fixed pension, is way less than the United States and way less than where we're coming from. And we can't wait to move here. We have a piece of property to sell back in Costa Rica, and I can tell you that my every intention would be, if we sell it, we'll be here immediately after, as soon as we can, 30 days or less. And that's how anxious we are to get to this country. Now, remember, we're already acclimated, my wife and I, being Costa Rican citizens as well. We don't have to deal with the language. We both are fluent in Spanish, of course, she being naturally born Costa Rican. And we're used to the culture, which is different in the United States. Things are different. So there's so many things to say in such a short period of time in this recording, but that are positive about this country. But the people are very receptive. in different regions. I've talked to a lot of them on the street because I am fluent in their language, and a lot of them speak English. And it's just the overall environment, the consciousness of the people of this country that makes it very attractive. As I've said before, from the economic viewpoint, in this hemisphere, 4-hour flight away from all of my family in the north, there's no place better. And Jackie and her team, I refer to her now, I met a lot of amazing people in my nearly 71 years, and I'll tell you what, she's at the top of the list. This lady, talk about giving back. I refer to her now, with her permission, as Wonder Woman. We just began that yesterday. And I thanked her yesterday, as we were winding this tour down, for the free tour. And she says, what do you mean? Because obviously I paid for this tour. And I said, for me it was free. I said, the other things that you gave us that were off the tour subject, the insights into the people, into the way the system works here, the recommendations, the context that you have here on every level within government, for your visa, for your driver's license, introducing us to other expats living here from the U.S. and other countries, was invaluable. That was worth the cost of the tour. For me, the cost of the tour, with 3 excellent meals a day and seeing one end of Panama on the west coast to the other, was free. And it was well worth it. So, yeah, I expect to be a Panamanian resident soon, and it was nice while Costa Rica lasted, but I see Panama in the next 20 or 30 or more years where Costa Rica was when I first found it 40-some years ago. It's on that growth stage. The unemployment rate here is very, very low, less than the United States, about half. The income level is about double of Costa Rica, which indicates reduction or absence of crime, or reduced crime. And these are all things that we all want to have in our life. And here it would be really nice, as I have been doing the last week, to walk down the street and talk to all the locals. And I don't go to all of the touristy places. I go to all the off places and talk to the people that live here and get to know them and get to know what it's really like. And I can't wait to get here, and neither can my wife. And what more can I say? This is my future home. And thanks to Jackie and her crew, they put the icing on the cake to seal this deal. And I can't get here soon enough.